Eamon Khan here for Seconds Out with the one and only KeemStar heading into Saturday night's massive card. Keem, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing very good. I'm super excited.
Super excited indeed, as am I too. I just want to rewind quickly though. I was there present at the Happy Punch inaugural awards show. Great show, great host as well. Dana Corby was brilliant with the roast. Just want to ask you, put you on the spot with a question here. Outside of the Hall of Fame inductees, who do you feel was most deserving of their award last night?
Oh, that's a tough one. King Kenny was definitely most improved. Knockout of the year probably should have definitely went to JJ. I would say fight of the year definitely has to be Waleed Dean. I feel like all the right people won all the right awards last night.
It's good to see those honoured and good to see you giving back to the community as well, Keem. Let's talk about this card. Which fight excites you the most outside of the main events, first of all?
I would have to say I'm right with the people on this. Salt, Poppy, Slim, right at the top, right? But all my fighters, really. I'm excited for Astrid to go in and do her thing, for the GOAT Chase to come back, be the heavyweight champion of the world, for Pretty Boy Anthony Taylor to not just talk it, but walk it, stop King Kenny. And of course, we got Nick LMAO, fearless kid, teaming up with Alex Wasabi, first time we've seen over in Misfits, just coming in, giving B-Dave and Pineda the business. So I'm excited about it.
Anthony Taylor, a prime example of how to take your opportunity, how to go the right way about any opportunity you do get in this scene.
Yeah, his origins is an MMA background, comes into this influencer scene, and he's more entertaining than most influencers.
In terms of also, you said Nick LMAO, I thought, look, the tag team stuff is good, but I think there's real single star potential there for Nick on the horizon. Do you see that as well?
Oh, absolutely, without a shadow of doubt. But, with a card this big, you want to show all the new people that will be watching, like tag team. You want to give them a little bit of that Misfit flavor. So I think Mams did a great job making sure there was a tag team on this card.
In terms of Astrid, I think she was a late addition to the card, maybe even was potentially not going to be on the card. Obviously, that fight with Alexa Grace has been boiling and boiling and boiling over. Why do you think the two just don't like each other so much?
I have no idea. I mean, girls will be girls, but Astrid will settle it in a couple days here.
Do you think her and Elle will eventually meet?
Maybe. I mean, there's a lot of challenges with that fight, weight difference and everything else. But, obviously that's the fight that everybody wants. And these two girls are going to run into each other at some point in the future.
Jumping into the main event portion of the card. Look, actually, before we get there, look, I'm from the traditional kind of boxing and kind of sense. And us boxing fans, we're not often treated. I find this being to put on a card of this stature in very much the infancy of the Misfit scene is leaks and kind of years ahead of what the traditional scene is doing. Do you look at the traditional scene and say, they're doing it so wrong, we're doing it so right here on this side?
I don't look at the traditional scene at all. I only care about this. I just don't, I know there's been a lot of, people trying to mix the two or whatever. I only care about this. I only care about the internet, influencers fighting. That's always been the whole point of this, and that's why we're crushing it.
Let's jump back straight into the main event. First of all, KSI versus Tommy Fury. Who'd you favor in that fight?
KSI. And, probably you and every one of your colleagues think I'm insane, right, saying that. But just KSI is actually different. He has a mind power that is unmatched. I've been in these battles when he fought Logan Paul. I was, the only one saying JJ was going to win this thing when everyone else was saying Logan would win. And he just finds a way to win, and he will find a way to win October 14th.
There was a pretty wild moment last night at the workout between KSI and the Fury family. What do you make of that? KSI, I think, spat his chewing gum at the Fury family. Sells the fight of a crazy moment.
It's amazing that you got to get John Fury in there to argue with JJ in order to get some news clips, because Tommy just doesn't do it. He's like vanilla, and he brings his dad along with him for the spice.
Well, do you think JJ will release that footage that he apparently has in Tenerife of Tommy getting knocked out?
Hopefully, and we might see it at this press conference.
Does KSI need to beat Tommy Fury, do you think, to get the Jake Paul fight, to really champion the scene? Does he need to get that victory?
He doesn't need to beat Tommy Fury. If he does, then it's settled. He can retire, if he wants. But if he doesn't, then it's a race. It's an absolute race between Jake Paul and KSI to get that rematch with Tommy Fury. And Tommy Fury is getting $10 million for his next fight because they're going to be in a bidding war. It's going to be insane if they both lose to Tommy Fury. What happens next?
Is that right? You've got a bet with Paul?
I do have a $5,000 bet with Paul that JJ is going to win. He thinks Tommy Fury is going to win. But again, this guy comes from a more traditional background.
A more what? Sorry, sir.
I said you come from a more traditional background, so you don't understand JJ. You don't understand why he's going to win.
No one that has a boxing brain or ability or an understanding of the actual sport and the science in itself thinks that he'll win. It is possible, however, that he starts really fast, kind of like Daniel Jacobs did this against Peter Quillen and knocked out the favorite. He could do that, but more than likely, you'll be paying me $5,000 in quarters and a tube sock on live.
And this is why influencer boxing is so big, is because guys like this get proved wrong over and over and over again, and we keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Thanks, Paul.
Tommy still has to make weight, so there's also that.
Oh, yeah. True.
You're the main event, a great fight as well too. Logan Paul versus Dillon Danis. Look, Dillon has gone a unique way of selling the fight. It has sold the fight. It's also caused a little bit of a controversial stir, and now he's getting sued too. What's your assessment of the way Dillon's gone about it and the promotion he's brought to it too?
Yeah. Well, I think any average person would be like, hey, you're going a little too far, Dillon. But at the end of the day, all is fair in love and war. This is a fight that you got to promote. This is how he chose to do it. He got I was hitting in DMs and I was like, Dillon, I need to know your Twitter analytics. 2 billion views in a single month of this year promoting this fight. He's carried the promotion on his back. And I really hope that Dillon Danis somehow walks away with a win, but I don't think so.
You stand confident that he does actually show up and fight. There's a lot of whispers that he might just walk in the ring and walk out, and that's why Mike Perry's here as a standby.
I would laugh. It's funny. It's funny. It's on brand for what Dillon Danis would do. But I really do hope that he gets in the ring and actually fights. And, if there is some world where he could somehow win this, that would break the internet. As far as the lawsuit goes, though, look, this is an embarrassment. Especially in your world, right? You see these influencers over here talking smack and one suing another one before a fight. It's got to be kind of embarrassing. We probably look like clowns because of Logan Paul doing that.
Now, I've got to also mention as well, Dillon Danis was on the Andrew Schultz podcast. He mentioned something really interesting. He said that both KSI and Jake Paul are kind of fighting over his next rights to a fight there. Is that your understanding of what's next, and how pivotal is it that he lands on DAZN and Misfits cards in the future, not other cards?
Well, if you're in the spot that JJ is, or Jake Paul, you want Dillon Danis. Look what he's doing to sell tickets. You want him. Of course they're going to fight over him. So, yeah.
There's also, whilst I've got you, I've got to ask whispers online about your position and with DAZN, and maybe DAZN not wanting to work with you, or I'm probably maybe over-exaggerating a bit there, but what's your position in terms of DAZN and further?
Yeah, I have some strong opinions, and people on the mic at these events, I want someone from the internet talking to the customer, which is from the internet. There's different criticisms that I have, and we've clashed heads. So they don't want my prelims anymore, which is fine, but my record speaks for itself. The views speak for itself. All the mainstream media speaks for itself. Trending number 3, my prelims on Twitter. No one else on the main card trended. It all speaks for itself. And so we're in the process of doing our own thing, and we're excited about it.
Is that a door that's closed, or one that can reopen in the future where you get back on doing the prelims?
Oh, it's going to reopen. But I think the tables will turn, and it'll no longer be, no. It'll be, let's work together.
A couple some more final things. Do you think there'll be a Creator Clash 3?
I hope so. I think Creator Clash is really, really entertaining and on brand with the internet, almost too much, right? Where Misfits is a little bit more athletic, more sporty, kind of a mixture of the pro scene in a way. So I think they're completely two different entities, but I love them both dearly.
Who would you put iDubbbz in against next?
I don't think iDubbbz should fight anyone. I think iDubbbz should work on creating the event and sit in the background. He shouldn't be back in the ring.
Overflow saying, say Overflow.
Yeah, maybe Overflow. Then iDubbbz has a chance.
Keem, a real pleasure speaking to you. Thanks for your success.